In 1984, the Plauché family believed they were living a perfect American dream in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Gary was a hard-working salesman. His son, Leon, was 11, energetic, trusting, and a dedicated student at the local karate school. His karate teacher, Jeff Doucet, wasn't just an instructor. He was a brother to Gary. He ate at their table. He held their trust. On February 19th, the mask which Doucet worn for a long time slipped. Doucet kidnapped Leon. He didn't just take him. He stole his identity. He cut the boy's hair, forced him to wear a woman's wig, and drove him across the country to a dingy motel in California to satisfy his nefarious needs. For 10 days, Leon was subjected to a level of physical and psychological torture that most adults wouldn't survive. Doucet told Leon that his parents had sold him. He told him no one was coming to save him. Back in Baton Rouge, Gary Plauché was dying inside. His friends claimed he didn't sleep. He stopped eating. He became a shadow. The FBI traced a phone call of Doucet and eventually got leads on his location. They raided the motel. Doucet was in handcuffs, and Leon was at last coming home. But the Gary Plauché who went to the airport that day wasn't the man who lost his son. March 16, 1984. The long-awaited moment for unity of father-son arrived. The news crews at Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport were there for a routine capture story. They wanted to see the monster, Jeff Doucet, walk the perp walk. Gary Plauché arrived early. He didn't bring a sign. He didn't bring a lawyer. He brought a .38 caliber revolver tucked into the pocket of his tan jacket. He put on a pair of sunglasses and a baseball cap. He leaned against a row of payphones, looking like any other traveler waiting for a flight. The plane landed. Doucet stepped off, flanked by detectives. He looked arrogant. He looked like a man who knew he'd get a good lawyer and a plea deal. As they passed the payphones, Gary stepped out. He didn't scream. He didn't announce himself. He moved with the cold precision of a man who had already committed the act in his mind 1,000 times. He pressed the barrel against Doucet's right ear and bam. The camera caught it all. He collapsed like a puppet with its strings cut. Gary didn't run. He didn't try to shoot the cops. He fell to his knees, his chest heaving, tears rolling down his eyes, a loud scream depicting the pain inside, and eyes on the expressionless face of the man who ruined his son. The monster was dead, and the hero was now a murderer. The legal system has a black box of its own laws that say you cannot take a life, no matter the reason. Gary was charged with second-degree murder. But a strange thing happened in Baton Rouge. The police officers who arrested him didn't treat him like a killer. They treated him with a strange, silent respect. The district attorney's office was flooded with thousands of letters. People weren't asking for a fair trial. They were asking for Gary to be set free. They said, he did what the law couldn't. In a decision that remains one of the most controversial in U.S. history, the judge looked at the facts. He saw a father whose son had been destroyed psychologically, from which he would never recover. He saw a man who had no prior record. Judge gave a final gaze at the Gary Plauché face, who had pain all over his face. Then the judge looked at the face of broken kid line and announced a 7-year suspended sentence with 5 years of probation, 0 days in prison. He walked out of that courtroom a free man. But was it justice? Gary lived until 2014. His son, Leon, grew up and eventually spoke out, saying his father's actions were the only thing that allowed him to feel safe again. Vengeance is a dark, heavy weight. Gary carried it so his son wouldn't have to. But as we look into the black box of this case, we have to ask, if the law can't protect our children, does the law even exist? Tell us your verdict in the comments. Is Gary a hero, or did he break the very thing that keeps society together? Subscribe to the Black Box Files and stay vigilant.